welcome to another casual garden stroll. I forgot to say this next part last week, so I will say it this week. My name is Erin. I live and garden here in Zone 6A in southeastern Wisconsin, and I am recording this on March 21st for you to watch on March 22nd, 2026. Today was my first day out in the garden, actually able to get a little bit of work done. I feel pretty accomplished. It's not super warm, but it's not terrible. We did have, last week I mentioned we were getting some weather. We did have a whopper of a snowstorm, a proper listed, warned blizzard. We got a little over 10 inches of snow. And by Friday, that snow was basically gone. You'll see small little piles of snow around here, but for the most part, the snow is gone already. And I do have some things to show you in the garden finally. I finally feel like there's something to show you here a little bit. And then we'll finish this down in the basement so I can show you just a quick update of seed starting stuff. So I can kind of keep you up to date on what's happening down there. But let's just go stroll so I can show you the good stuff. Okay, so one of the areas that I started just slightly cleaning, just raking a few little things away, was over here, because I've got aconites coming up and they are beautiful and charming and so cute. And they're not open right now because the sun's not on them, but there's a bunch throughout this area. You can see kind of over here that we raked up a few. So I just kind of trying to get the mat of leaves off of these a little bit, just to clear this area up just a touch. I'm not doing a lot of that yet, but just wanted to uncover those so I could actually see them and enjoy them. They would have made their way up through the leaves either way. We also have, well, there's a lot of mess about still, you know, obviously we just started cleaning up. Oh, this is a big deal. Check out the window box. It's empty. I was able to get, I got to put the ring away, so I have the ring out there. I was able to get most of the winter containers emptied. So, I mean, a little bit of all the greens anyway. I really had to tug on some of them because some of it was still frozen in there. Here is all sort of the stuff that needs to get stored down in the basement, all the lights and the pine cones and all those things. But that was a great achievement. I was not able to get this one fully emptied. Some of these branches are really stuck in there. So, and it'll be a while before I can get this great sculpture out to put it in my garden. You will see back here, let me back this up a little. You will see that we have a lot of scaffolding on our chimney here. We are finally getting our chimney fixed. Well, not finally. We have tried this. This is the fourth time in 15 years or so that we have tried to get the chimney fixed. And hopefully this time it'll be right. They did, until now, they've been doing a really good job covering up my Asian pear. It looks like things went off the rails a little bit today, but we'll dust that off. Anyway, that's not exactly exciting home stuff because, you know, it's just fixing stuff. But we pretty much have rain running down our walls and have for a long time when it rains and blows from the east. So needed to get that sorted. Walking this way through the garden a little bit. Oh, I put a little bit of mulch down on the path here. I just was kind of trying to move the new wood chip pile that we got. But exciting thing through here, let me find it for you. Well, first of all, well, here we go. Here we go. We have daffodil foliage coming up all really throughout here, which is great to see. I do have a lot of early blooming daffodils in here, Jetfire and one other one. So they do tend to come up fairly early, so that's exciting. Just move a branch that, and let's see, what else is over here? Oh, well, not a lot other than more daffodil. We're just getting excited about little signs of green in this area. I obviously have not cleaned up any part of this garden. I mean, there's no rush on any of that. We got tons and tons of time for all that. I do want to show you the mound though, and maybe you might even be able to see a little bit of this from here, but there are snowdrops all over it. I don't know if you can see these tiny little white dots. I mean, these are not big clumps yet, but there are snowdrops all over the mound from back to front. It's extraordinarily exciting. Oh, here, my shadow is not helping the situation there. Just all dotted throughout here. Now, no sign of any winter aconites popping up over here, but you know, they are tiny little things, so maybe we'll see those. And then hopefully the rest of the bulb show will begin, but I'm very encouraged by how many snowdrops I'm seeing on the mound. I think that is it's a really good sign. We do have all that snow melted so fast, so the creek is got a little bit of water in it right now. I had enough that we were able to sort of clean out some of the leaves that collect in it. We need like a good rainfall to sort of wash those all out. And there are lots of signs of things starting to wake up that aren't just weeds. You know, the weeds always wake. Oh, here, I did want to show you. Here, we'll go this way. We've got so many skunk cabbage flowers in the woods. It seems to me like a lot more than I've seen in the past. Let's just cut through this way. We had to walk around. In fact, once again, it's one of those things that it's kind of probably hard to see on the camera, but there's some there, one there. They're just kind of all over here. I always have to walk quite carefully. I don't want to crush them, but they are there. They are showing themselves. Again, another sign that things are actually coming to life here a little bit. Evergreens pulled out of the containers. Most of them are not that green anymore. They were getting quite aged there. This is what I want to show you over here. That's fairly exciting. I mean, these are all relative things, of course, but over here, I was just rooting around in here a little bit. That little green is lady's mantle. So little signs of lady's mantle life there. Now also mixed in there is this Creeping Charlie. Here's Creeping Charlie. It's a good time to pull Creeping Charlie if you find it, but you know, there's a lot of weeds around to pull. So, and actually the ground is starting to feel, I don't know how far down it's thawed, but the ground is starting to feel a little soft. So actually, I think we'll see, maybe tomorrow, I'll start trying to see if I can dig a shovel around this willow tree here and then the blue globe spruce behind it. Two of the plants that need to move out of here for this little renovation I'm doing in this area. And I wouldn't mind saving them if I can get them out. I mean, I can always put things there kind of on the edge of the woods or in the woods. And they don't always make it, but you know, these are nice plants and I wouldn't mind having them there if they can do their thing without, you know, I'm obviously not going to tend them a ton over there. Things don't get babied over there, but maybe we can make that work. I was also able to get I finished a little bit. I just had a little bit of pruning left to do over here on the Dahlia at the end of the little planting over here. So that's all. I mean, Dahlia is so easy, but I just took them back to, well, actually it's hard to tell how far I took them back. They may need more pruning than that because they are sitting in a bit of a snowbank and a bit of a leaf bank right now. So I actually don't know how high that is. I was thinking it was like maybe 20, 24 inches, something like that, but we'll have to see. You can always prune more on that. I did just want to point out how pretty, this kind of caught me off guard, but this is bluebeard, Caryopteris. Look at how, I don't know if you can see this, but look at how pretty the seed heads on this are. I mean, it's really quite pretty here. I never even think about pruning that until it's showing all kinds of green on it. Never even think about pruning that because it's questionably hardy here. So I just want it to really get a chance to grow. I don't clean any of those leaves out of the crown, but it's nice that it looks pretty while we're sitting here. And then right there is this tiny weird little patch of Darwin tulips that I swear I planted those tulips 20 years ago, and they still come up and I still get a flower or two. It's rare for tulips to perennialize like long term. So that one likes its life there, and so good on it. All right, so I'm gonna take you downstairs so I can just show you a little bit of the seed situation down there. But that's kind of the quick view of what's been happening here. Like I said, it just feels really good to do anything, to accomplish anything in the garden at this time of year. Feels great. I'm not gonna push it. I feel like, and I think everyone's counting on the fact that blizzard was, on the hope that blizzard was our last big snow event, but we get snowstorms in April, so you never know what could happen. So I'm gonna pace myself a little bit. We got plenty of time to clean things up, plenty of time to get going on things. And it's one of those weeks where there's a lot of seeds to get started, so I can focus myself on getting those things done, which actually do have a time element to them, other than some of these things that I've been working on in the garden today. All right, down we go to the basement. Okay, welcome to the seed starting area here. Let me just tell you guys, gardening will keep you humble. I've been humbled a few times so far this year. And we're going to talk about that because that's mostly on the other side of the operation here. So a couple of things that are getting started right now. This is the first round of Nicotiana. Unfortunately, I opened up my perfume lime seeds I purposely bought the pelleted ones, and I didn't realize that until I opened up the packet that they had been crushed in shipping, so they were not usable, so I had to reorder some of those. But there's some other Nicotianas in there. This is tassel flower, Emilia coccinea. I just seeded that last night. I got to get a humidity dome on top of there. Down here, this is Salvia argentea, which is coming up really nicely here. This is Erigeron on this side. That's Mexican fleabane. And this is Corsican mint on that end. As soon as a little bit more of that mint comes up, I'll get this off the heat. Little seed snail here. We'll talk about that some other time. Peppers, parsley, onions over there. So you'll see not a lot happening there. So here's the thing, guys. I've said a couple of times on this channel that I don't use a thermostat with my heat mats. Well, you know, I was using old heat mats because my theory was it's so cold down here that heat mats generally bring things up 10 degrees or so. So it was never even a concern. Yeah, except I've been cooking my seedlings. So a bunch of stuff did not come up because I was cooking everything. So I did go buy a thermostat. Heat mat thermostats just work like this. It's a little probe, and you put it in there, and that connects up to your thermostat here. So you can see that this guy's at 73.4 degrees right now. I think I have it set for 75, so it'll kick off at 75. You plug the heat mat into the thermostat, and that's how it controls so that's how you turn the heat mat on and off. So I have to restart a bunch of stuff because I think I couldn't figure out why it wasn't coming up. I'm like, I think I cooked it all. And because a couple of times I felt it, I'm like, that feels quite warm. Yeah, sure enough, I'm certain I cooked things. So that's not exactly optimal. Down here, a few things I'm growing from cuttings, or the pelargoniums that you see there are the rest of the ones that I overwintered in cold storage. The other ones of those have been sitting on the kitchen table for a while. The sweet peas look amazing. I also started them too early, so they are prime for pinching back. I will do that later today. Pinching back on these, you know, I will just pinch back to 1 or 2 sets of leaves. There, that one's done. Down here, amazing gray poppies. Maybe the first time I ever have success with those. We will see. Now, I'll just show you up here first. Up here, these are several plugs. I split a bunch of plugs from Farmer Bailey's with a garden friend. So there's some Dalmatian peach foxglove. This is Dianella. These are pansies. Those are some other foxgloves that she shared with me. More Dianella here. No, not Dianella. Daucus. Daucus, right? The carrot kind of thing. Sorry. So those have all, I just got those the other day. So those have all been potted up and are growing here. Below this is where my judgment went awry. So you guys, these are my dahlias. I have never done this before. In fact, I've never done a lot of this before. But last year was such a terrible, terrible dahlia year for me that I'm like, we're not doing that again. So first of all, if you follow any of like dahlia growers or the dahlia groups, some of them will do this thing where they, I hate this term, but they wake up their dahlias in plastic bags. Yeah, I did that. We're never, ever, ever, ever doing that again, ever. For me, I lost a ton of them. I don't know how people get the mix of warmth and moisture in those bags right, but I clearly did it, and so I lost a lot of dahlias. I should have just done my usual thing, which was just pot them up. It is about the time, though, that I start potting up my dahlias, and then they go outside. Unfortunately, I did it too early. So normally we wouldn't have any growth here. So I got to deal with these inside for a while here. This is obviously not optimal. As soon as the weather turns and it's warm enough to get them outside to my temporary greenhouse, which I can and do heat a little bit, I will do that, but it's too early for that now. So I am stuck with half of my shelves filled with dahlias right now. Terrible idea. Don't do it. Don't jump the gun. I tell people this all the time, and yet I went and did it. So there's that. But I mean, they are doing fine. They're pretty moist on the bottom. The top layer is a little bit dry, but they're pretty moist on the bottom, so I think they're good. But it's just that I'm going to need space for actual seedlings, and now my space is all filled with dahlias. So stupid me. Anyway, all right, that's the update down the seed starting area. Lots of other seeds to get started, including the things that I screwed up by cooking them to death. This is basic stuff, and you get overconfident. And like I said, gardening will humble you. And anytime you think you've got it nailed, gardening will come remind you that maybe you don't, which is fine. It's just seeds. The good news is that I've gotten to a point in my gardening sort of journey that I don't take this stuff personally. Like, I screwed up. Oh well, moving on. We'll start something new. We'll restart it, or we won't, and we'll live without it this year, and life goes on because there's always more plants to put in the garden. All right, you guys, that's it for now. The next time we see these guys, these little cute guys, they will be little fuzzy, adorable leaves. These are the cutest little seedlings ever. So once they get their true leaves, these are all cotyledons. Once they get their true leaves are fuzzy and cute, and I love a cute seedling. All right, you guys, have a great day in your garden. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you soon.